Okay, so quickly, you know, let's just be honest with ourselves. Because honesty is something that I don't know how we live in this part of the world in Africa. Can we just be honest for once? Let's just be honest. You know, whenever I see streets named after Nigeria's past president, I get really confused. But I wonder, what are we celebrating? For example, I see a street named after Ibrahim Badamosi Babangida Way. How? I see a road named after Olu Obasanjo Way. How? What are we celebrating in Africa? Because I really don't get it. Muhammad Buhari Way. How? Muhammad Abacha Way. How? Because let me just summarize what I'm trying to say without spending too much of your time. Firstly, somebody like if he was in Europe or in a civilized climate, let's say in America or China or Singapore, that these people ruled, they were past president, they will all be in jail. None of them will be walking the street today. Bangladesh, India, they will be in jail. South Africa, these leaders that you're naming streets after, they will all be in jail. Okay, look at Babangida. Why are you naming street after Babangida? The man who annulled the most freest and fairest election and threw the opponents in jail is the man you're naming streets after. The man who introduced structural adjustment program that degraded the naira and degraded the economy of the country to is one of the to reduce Nigeria to one of the poorest countries is the man you're honoring. On what basis are we giving naming roads after Mohammed Babangida? Look at the one that followed him, Shoneko. Look at what's his name, Olusegun Obasanjo. Why you what under Olusegun Obasanjo? A sitting governor was kidnapped and he did nothing. In fact, the people that kidnapped the governor, the Uba brothers, allegedly, that kidnapped the brother, that kidnapped the governor, Andy Uba, the junior brother or the senior brother to Andy Uba, was fingered in that kidnapping. And yet, that Andy Uba was working for Obasanjo. The same Obasanjo that wanted to rule Nigeria forever, that tried to get that term. Have we forgotten? It's the same Obasanjo, under his administration, $17 billion was allegedly missing. The money that was appropriated for the electrification of Nigeria. Does Nigeria have electricity today? Where is that 17 billion? Nobody is asking. Instead, we're naming streets after him. Do you think if he was in Singapore, Obasanjo would be walking the streets, coming to events, and they're honoring him? Hey, Baba, he's dancing, and he comes to events, he's doing book launch. He will be in jail. At least he will be tried in a competent law where the judiciary is functional. And he will have to explain to Nigerians what happened to the 17 billion. At the point, they said it's not 17 billion, that is 12 billion. Whether it's 12 billion, whether it's 17 billion, whether it's 1 billion or 700 million, he has to account for it. Okay, let's look at Musa Yar'Adua. Musa Yar'Adua was the only one because he didn't rule for long. So I remember him for what he did. He recognized that the election that brought him to power was flawed, and that's what led to the wise commission and the wise report, if I'm correct. So for that singular act alone, I applaud him. Please, a round of applause. A round of applause. A round of applause for Musa Yar'Adua. Thank you, thank you. Round of applause. Then let's talk about Jonathan. Jonathan was, in my opinion, with all due respect to his person and his, Jonathan was a Jonathan did nothing for Nigeria. Most people call him a weakling who didn't stand for anything and who stood for everything. Under Jonathan, Diziani, his minister of petroleum, was fingered for several millions of dollars. I heard a story where her phone that she bought, $4 million phone that she bought. I'm not sure how true that story. But Diziani, he's Minister of Petroleum. His wife had a court case. The case, I don't know what happened to that case. $20 million was what was in dispute. What am I saying? If you're in America, you are in America or Europe, then you became a president or a governor. Then after your reign, you did not have $20 million in your account before you became governor or president. Then after you became president, by the time you're resigning, they are finding $20 million in your wife's account. You're going to jail if you cannot explain where that money came from. And we're celebrating Jonathan everywhere because he hung the boots in the nick of time. He gave up on I don't know what we're celebrating him for. Is it Buhari? He came out, Muhammad Buhari came out the other day and was speaking, granting interviews. Do you know the amount of corruption? Listen, you cannot indict MFLA without indicting Buhari. Let's just be serious. If you're going to indict MFLA, you have to indict Buhari, who gave the orders. Who gave the orders often come from the president. Do you know the amount of corruption? The amount of corruption under this past the man ruined the economy of Nigeria. Don't listen, under Muhammad Buhari, Nigeria became the world capital for poverty. Over 120 million Nigerians were over 120 million Nigerians became poor. Nigeria overtook India. India has a population of 1 billion. Say between, I don't know, I think about 700 to 1 billion. I'm not sure. You can check. But India has that large population. And Nigeria, with a population of 200 and something million, now overtook India as the poverty capital of the world. That means there were over 100 million people who live below $1 a day under Buhari. Do you know the damage that man has done to this economy, this country? That's why I said most of the time it's time for the truth telling has to start from somewhere. Because if you tell the truth, then maybe you can start healing. And they are naming roads after him, streets, roads. There are book launches. Then the current president, you don't want me to go there because that's a different story for another day. You have to look at Lagos and the amount of touts in Lagos. Listen, I feel like if these leaders that we are celebrating up and down, that the governors in Nigeria since 1999 and beyond, all the state governors, except a few, you can mention a few, including people like, Peter Obi, but all the governors and all the past presidents in Nigeria, I tell you, if it was in Europe or America or in China, every single one of them will be in jail. Every single one. None of them will be working free because they will not be able to account. If you just do a little forensic analysis of the finances of each of the states, do a forensic and Obasanjo should come and explain the $17 billion, the $12 billion or whatever amount of dollars that was for electrification of Nigeria. So please, as Nigerians, let's stop celebrating nonsense. Stop naming streets after people who are not worthy, who are not credible. Let's name the streets. If you want to name the streets after footballers, name the streets after Nigerian artists, name the streets after Davido. At least he has named the street after Burna Boy. He has won us a Grammy. You name the street after people who have destroyed the country. You're celebrating. If you celebrate darkness, then darkness will stay with you forever. You can never have light. So we need to first of all call out this thing that we are doing. And all those streets that have been named after all these people. Reverse I wish there's a president. I would have liked to see somebody like Showore or Peter Obi. Peter Obi, for his experience and his maturity to be able to bring the country together. But I would have liked to see somebody like Showore as the president of this country. You can cancel all this rubbish that we are tolerating. Naming streets after criminals and people who have destroyed the country. This should stop.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share.